I like my little hat. Niggas be hating on my little hat. I like my little hat. What my hat did to y'all? My hat ain't did nothing. Alright. I show the meats. Alright. What's good with y'all? So today we're gonna be talking about FouseyTube. I know many people already know who FouseyTube is. One of the biggest creators in the world. I mean, honestly, like, who doesn't know FouseyTube is one of the OG creators. He used to do pranks back in the day. Pretty much an internet veteran at this point. So FouseyTube came back. Okay, so like a little bit of preface, right? So I remember I was just scrolling Twitch, right? I was just scrolling on Twitch. I was looking at like creators and stuff, and I saw like FouseyTube streaming. Like, oh, FouseyTube streaming, and it turned out like right as like, okay, so I don't know if this is like 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure of this, but for sure, like Fousey had like never streamed before, or like maybe it was like his first stream, something like that. And then it was like the first time that I tuned in was like one of his first streams, or like it was like his first time coming back, because I think he had already had a Twitch, right? But he never like streamed like when he came back to our original. I remember he was in the mall. He was in this mall, right? And he was like going around like being wicked. You know how Fousey is. He's just always like just a wicked person. And Fousey, he was a part of that era of like the prank invasion. Like, remember like the mommy makeout day stuff, and like the Connor Maynards, or not the Connor Maynard, the Connor guy. You know, the bodybuilder Connor guy. I forgot his name. He like was like eating his cum. Wasn't that guy? That guy was eating his cum. The Connor guy, he was like eating his own nut. I'm pretty sure. Regardless though, okay. So regardless of you know, whatever. That was like the era where Fousey grew up, right? So now we're at this point where streaming has like gotten a lot bigger. Things have gotten a lot wicked, and so apparently, allegedly, you know, Fousey's pretty entertaining to watch. Really like him now. He's pretty entertaining, and so he got offered a $100 million Kick deal, right? And so we know Kick is very, it's very weird. Okay, yeah, and it's respect to Kick, but it's just like going on there feels like I'm streaming on the dark web. You know what I mean? And so it's like you can go to Kick, but I don't know if like innately, I feel like if you go to Kick, you just kind of do it just because like the money's good, etc. In terms of exposure though, I don't know if it hits the same. But I mean, they're all platforms at the end of the day. Most of this shit ends up on Twitter anyways. Really, that's the app. That's the app that you want. Regardless though, Fousey has been on a bit of a tangent, right? He has been going a little bit wicked when being presented things that he doesn't like. And actually right now, he's live streaming right now on Twitter though. Look at this. He's live streaming on Twitter.
Ditch me. You can't just say you're gonna shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
He's talking to AI.
You definitely shut up, Arbor. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Hello?
So like a little bit before this, he was just like yapping to AI about like girls and stuff. It was weird. But I mean, this is what he's doing right now. He's like me. Yo, Twitter, Twitter needs a live set. You see how like on the side right here?
A quick song.
Right here that has like buttons and stuff. There needs to be a live button because I never know when people are live. What did he say? Write him a song about what?
That's like
you can't go back.
On KOD. That's a diss track on ChatGPT-4.
So he's writing a diss track in a Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole style on the AI itself. Okay.
Yo, I'm talking to a bot. Supposed to be AI supreme, but every time I ask you for something, you just shatter my dream. You stuck in a loop, my ninja ain't as sharp as you seem. GPT-4, yeah, you thought you were hot till I hit you with the real. Now you stuck in your spot. You ice, but it's colder than frost. And and they're faker than a coin toss. Chat GPT.
How's the coin toss fake?
Claiming you're a genius, but you can't even see. Talking out of the dream. You just lines of cocaine, dog. I'm the whole damn thing.
Looky hard. Regardless, that's literally as I record this video, that's what he's doing right now. Crazy, right? So let's look at some of the moments of Fousey acting erratic, because why not, right? Why not?
Gym, I haven't ran, I haven't had sex, I've jacked up.
What?
I haven't done anything. I'm gonna blow up.
This nigga's a freak.
Bitch, I'm about to blow up. That's a J. Cole song. It's a J. Cole song.
Oh my gosh.
Allahu Akbar.
Yo! Fousey's a comedian. Fousey is a fucking comedian. Oh my fucking gosh, bro. Like, that nigga's so stupid, bro. Oh my god. So stupid, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, so that was a clip of Fousey, right? So I think this is just like a part of like the tangent he was going, because there was like a lot of it was just like a moment of like in time where Fousey was just going wicked. He ended up like attacking his manager. There's a lot. Oh man. Like, here is a video of him talking to Kai Cenat. I don't know what they're talking about, but this is just kind of the video. He ends up like jumping in the pool or something.
You need niggas like you need niggas like that in your circle. That shit's ass.
Okay, I'm gonna respect it, my king, but listen, if you were watching my live stream before I got banned, you heard me say, hey, God, I almost said niggas, I'm sorry. Hey,
Did you just say you almost said it? You almost said it. You said it?
I didn't use it in a sentence. I said the word I almost used, but listen, when I
you need niggas like you need.
It's like he acts so serious, but like what he says in context is always like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you just said or did this? He's wicked. So he ended up having a really bad moment. And if you don't know, Fousey has like, you know, apparently he's like diagnosed bipolar and stuff like this. So he has like a lot of like mental problems, etc. Or like apparently like he wasn't loved as a child or something like that. I don't know. This is things that he says, and so he kind of has this cycle where like this is not the first episode of Fousey that we've ever gotten. Sometimes it goes like he starts out streaming, he's normal, he does his thing, da 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 da. He then gets a lot of notoriety or like a bit of clout from it, and then he like talks to people that are like, you know, more popular, etc. Gets on their good side, and then he like backstabs them, or like he kind of just like disregards them in some sort of manner, or he acts erratic, and then when they call him out he gets like wicked or whatever, and then afterwards he has like a whole outlasting post of like, these people are fake, this is happening, nobody's real in this industry, etc, etc. And then the cycle kind of repeats after that, you know what I mean? It's like another episode basically. Very, very common amongst the Fousey. If you've been on the internet, you've seen it happen a million times. But here's a moment where he lashed out on his management team. Apparently his management team were like really bad to him. It was a time where he was like out with like Aiden Sneeko and something around that time frame at least, and they like left his dog or something, or they did something with his dog, and he got like really pissed, and he had like in stream. So it's a lot of stuff going on around Fousey at this time, you know, at this time frame. Right now I think he's kind of chilling. As you've seen, he was just in the bed vibing out, but you know, when this was all going on, you know, it was very wicked to see. So look, let's look at this.
Wait, work shit. Come here. Make me something.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Chuck E. Cheese, last place I have to apply to. All right, let's get it. I hope they hire me. You guys hiring?
So his manager ended up applying to Chuck E. Cheese after
resume, though.
Fousey said what he said to work at Chuck E. Cheese.
Massive YouTuber and Twitch streamer. He fired me on stream and he said only Chuck E. Cheese would hire me. Can you take my resume?
I'm about to go to Chuck E. Cheese in like a few days.
Thank you
Shout
so
out.
much. I can't believe this. Just have Chuck E. Cheese. They don't hire me. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Bro, I can't do this. I need a job. I need a job. I can't do this, bro. I'm gonna eat this whole pizza. I can't get hired nowhere but here. I don't even know if I'm gonna get hired here. What are we doing? What are we saying? I'm G1.
Cool. So a lot of times kind of blackmails his audience, or not his audience, but like he blackmails people around him and uses his clout and fame as leverage to kind of do whatever he wants. And I think that's kind of the principle and what's kind of transpiring, at least of what I can see. Now, you know, not to ramble for too long, but looking at it, I think that Fousey is obviously not too, he's not all the way there from what we can see, right? Because even if it was like putting on a, well, I think what the general consensus is that it is acting, but it's acting to the point where it's like, it's basically the same principle. It's almost ontological in its principality compared to, so like say for instance, it's like method acting, where it's like, yeah, you're pretending and you're not genuinely that fucking crazy, but in the instance where you're still doing the same practice, it's still psychotic in its nature, right? Like if I go kill someone, but I was method acting in me killing someone, I still did objective. It's the same thing with my Frogan video, where she was like saying, if somebody did set objective, but they felt remorseful, it's going to somehow combat this the differentiation in them doing the objective, when that doesn't. If I kill your parent, right, and I say, oh, I'm so sorry, dude, does that really hold the same weight? Like you can't. Someone's cognitive dissonance of what their action does contradicts all action of being remorseful or showing gratitude. Even if they are self-aware, it still doesn't matter. Like, you still did it. So I think that's kind of the general consensus. Like, even if Fousey is like acting, or he's kind of just putting on a show to be entertaining, it's still like he's still out here doing it. You get what I mean? So I think, you know, especially people like this, you kind of just got to give them a breather. But you don't want them to feel alone, because isolation is a huge manic reason why, you know, suicide is one of the highest things. As social animals, we need interactions. I know that, and this is something I have a problem with that's been going on in the online world. And it's a lot of, like, if you go to, there's this Instagram guy, right? His name is Justin LaBoy or something like that. He posts these tweets that are very degenerate-esque. And it's a lot of times like it promotes degeneracy. If you just go through it, it's always like it's hard to kind of moralize what he says, but it's always like things like it's like the Twitter type of vibe, where it's like real nigga quotes or like real tweets type of vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but it's always like it promotes degeneracy. And I think that a lot of people in general are too comfortable with isolation being a benefactor, where they say, rely on yourself, only focus on yourself, etc. And I think that you should focus on yourself to build yourself up, but you shouldn't negate the people around you, because the people around you are a lot of times why you are the person that you are, right? People change people. And as a basis, right? Think about this. There are some animals who will die if they don't have interaction with, like, there's some animals, if you buy the pet as a pet, you have to buy another pet so they don't die, because they can die from depression. Depression, oppression, and suppression are three of like these big factors in these sort of categorized Venn diagrams of why people act a certain way, or why someone will take particular action in said clause. So if somebody is feeling isolated, you don't want to isolate them completely. Sometimes people do need a breather, right? That's fine, but you still want to make sure that you're out there, and you're that reaching hand. You know that picture, like God and like Aristotle or whoever the fuck it was, they're like your fingertip. It's a symbolic message that even though you're far apart, you're still near in fingers reach. And it's a symbolic message basically saying, even though we are worlds apart, we still are together in an image, right? In God's image, we're still together. So people being social beings is a factor that society is promoting. And this is why I generally think this is why people are killing themselves, like the suicide. Like, I think 60% of gun violence is due to suicide. And these factors are weighing in, because you have the male loneliness epidemic and stuff like that. And it's society, due time, has had this gradual graph that has gone up of suicide. And it's the beneficiary of people isolating. When people are put in these higher up positions where they have no interaction, right? And parasocialism is a common factor in people's everyday lives. The isolation factor makes it feel like the reach out is not there. And so if people are always constantly feeling isolated, even though it's not no one's innate duty to save people or have to do said thing, but I think it's an innate human nature where we are social animals. It's being socialized. And so you have this hierarchy, right? Because primitively, we are not supposed to have social media. We have advanced faster than our brains can capacitize all the things we have around us. We have evolved beyond any other human, yet we have all these things, technology, etc. And so this isolation factor is a huge component of why people feel neglected or they act irrational. Now, Fousey is an example of a very manic version of that, right? But I think that just the premise of mental health, etc., is one of those things where you have to really think about why somebody is taking action, or why somebody, because it's always like people always blame you for how you reacted, but they never, let you know. Or people like to point out how you reacted, but they never care about how they made you feel, etc. And so a lot of times you can get the result of like how Fousey is acting, right? And I think that as a whole, people in general, especially large conglomerated companies, or not even just companies, but big brands, whether it's the person as a brand, things all inclusive where people want to say DEI, having an inclusion of all people feeling like they have the same innate value compared to any common layman, any person in the world. That right there is a reassurance to allow people to not feel like they need to isolate themselves away, because a lot of people don't want to isolate themselves. They want to have this established connection. They want to feel like they're needed. They want to feel, but in an instance or a feat of trying to reach this hierarchy, right? People is always trying to reach the higher, the human nature and the dichotomy is that you always want to reach higher. You always want more. You always want this, right? Even though you'll never actually achieve more, you'll always feel incomplete if you yourself are not incomplete. And that's the focus, right? Focus on yourself to make sure yourself is complete, to where garnering things won't matter. And I think that's kind of like the dichotomy of like the Bible and God is like, if you focus on yourself, you treat yourself. The Bible's like human 101, right? Human tutorial 101 is like, you treat yourself, you be a good person, etc. Good deeds, you raise yourself, your vibration, etc. In the spiritual aspect, you'll put yourself in a frequency to garner things of that you want. But in that instance, just because you garner all those things does not mean that yourself. So this is why you'll always see like certain celebrities where they're like, why is this guy so humble? Why is this guy so like a Keanu Reeves, even like a Castanet to a certain extent? It's like they keep the people that they grew up with around them because it grounds you. You're raising your vibration, but you still want to be grounded so that you don't fall too far fetched from where you began. Your ground roots are, it's like a tree. Once you rip that motherfucker out the tree, it's gonna die. And so sticking to your roots is kind of what Fousey probably needs. And even though this is like a manic episode thing and it's probably not even that real, or it's probably just like, it still is an innate reaction that he's still in completion of doing. You get what I mean? So I think moral of the story is speak to thy neighbor, because even though we are worlds apart and we don't know each other and we don't love each other as much as we should, as the world does have a lot of collision, I think that even though we can hate each other and we don't always speak the language, there actually is one universal language, and that language is love. That being said, that's gonna wrap us up for today. Peace.